Right, about Vecna. Is it lish or lich? Have a look at the postscript, leave me a comment. Right. Hello, good evening, good afternoon, and welcome. My name is Paul. I'm also called Knack. You've hopefully seen the daily teasers floating past on your YouTube timeline, and you've hopefully seen my movie reviews as well, and my TV shows that I review. If you haven't, please don't worry. I'll have them tucked in the little eye in the corner there. You can go have a look at your leisure. You can donate to my PayPal account as well if you're feeling that way inclined. At any rate, just recently I've been doing two things. I've been watching Star Trek Picard on Fridays. You can keep your eyes peeled for that when they go past. But I've also, on Tuesdays, been watching the fourth series of Stranger Things. And I've just, last night was Tuesday the 5th, and I watched the second episode, Vecna's Curse. I wanted to work out a couple of bits of pronunciation, but that's in the postscript. And I also wanted to tell you what I thought of the episode. Chapter 2, Vecna's Curse, opens with a summary of the Battle of Starkle, the last episode of Stranger Things' third series. It replays the climactic battle not from the viewpoint of Joyce Byers, Winona Ryder, but from the viewpoint of Sheriff Hopper, David Harbour, showing us that he'd survived the explosion only to be captured by Soviet troops. Post titles, we see Max, Sadie Sink, troubled by the usual nightmares she's suffering from her PTSD. And we see her waking up in a family trailer to find there's a nightmare not in her head, but on her doorstep. Just over the way from the Mayfield trailer is the trailer of where Eddie Munson, Joseph Quinn, lives with his Uncle Wayne. There is, of course, quite understandably no sign of Eddie. But there's plenty of signs and plenty of police talking to Wayne about the dead body of the cheerleader on the floor of the family trailer, and there's a lot of police wondering where Eddie is. Meanwhile, in California, Will and Eleven, Noah Schnapp and Millie Bobby Brown are welcoming Mike, Finn Wolfhard, fresh off the plane from Indiana. He's come for the summer holiday to see Eleven, specifically, and the rest of the gang as well. What he doesn't know, of course, is that Eleven is having far more problems than she's letting on. He also, like the rest of the gang, doesn't know that Joyce is in full-on investigation mode. She's enlisted the help of Murray Bauman, Brett Gelman, in her attempt to find Sheriff Hopper. Between the two of them, they've managed to set up an internet line and contact the mysterious Enzo, who tells them he wants $40,000 before he does anything else. Talking of investigations, we also see Nancy, Natalia Dyer, working for the Hawkins paper and trying to find out exactly why there's a dead cheerleader in a trailer, trying to find out exactly who could possibly have done it, and try and find where she's lost Fred, her journalistic partner. Meanwhile, while she's doing that, we see Max joining Dustin, Steve and Robin, Gaten Matarazzo, Joe Keery and Mayor Hulk, trying to find the well-hidden Eddie before the baseball team do. The team, captained by the extremely annoyed Jason, played by Mason Dye, and also joined by the reluctant Lucas, Caleb McLaughlin, want a serious word with Eddie. Those games of Dungeons and Dragons he runs have obviously turned him into a satanic panic killer. Now, what did I make of the episode? Good, bad, indifferent, or one with more ups or more downs than the other? If you see what I mean. I suspect that Vecna's Curse is a good episode with a few downsides, at least one downside. On the many upsides, we have here Again, a superb cast. 2 episodes in, the series regulars are taking in great performances and all working very well together. And I think I've said this before about Stranger Things. The cast have been working together for quite a few years now, 3 or 4 years now, and they are working well together. They all seem to get on well as friends as well as co-workers. Joe Keery and Hulk as best buddies Stephen and Robin are a good highlight, I think. Gator Matarazzo as Dustin, see bloody perb. Millie Bobby Brown as the Tortured 11, again, is on form. Caleb McLaughlin as the sympathetic Lucas, he caught my attention. As a former, I hate the term, a former dungeon master, a former referee, a player, collector and seller of role-playing games, I can remember the moral panic around Dungeons and Dragons and games like it back in the day. I can remember some of the disapproving looks from some of my Christian friends when the subject came up. So Lucas's conundrum, trying to explain an innocent pastime to a bunch of baying fanatics out for blood, is something I identified with. I felt there. The potential star of the episode, though, was Mason Dye as Jason Carver, the human villain of the episode. It was both a charismatic and meaningful performance, I think. You can see that the character has leadership abilities, but also that he's on a not particularly pleasant witch hunt, to put it that way. The episode's downside, we didn't get to see much of Quinn as Eddie Munson in Vecna's Curse, but to play fair, he did spend most of the episode in hiding. He does well in a few minutes at the end where we get to see him, though, but he wasn't on screen as much as he could have been. The only other thing I felt let down Vecna's Curse was the length at 1 hour and 17 minutes. To be honest, that long a video, or that long an episode, had me twitching in my seat, to be brutally frank with you. I think I'd have preferred maybe 10 minutes less. That's not to say what's on screen is bad. It's not. It's beautifully acted, impeccably written by the Duffer Brothers there, and it's well worth watching. It was just maybe a few minutes long for my personal taste. So what can I tell you? And what, at the risk of my repeating myself, I shall ask again. Is this a good episode? Yes, it is. Possibly not as good as the Hellfire Club opening episode, but it's good enough to make me invest more time in the series. I am going to be watching the next series of Star Trek Picard, Assimilation, on Friday the 8th, this coming Friday, and reviewing that on Saturday the 9th. I will be watching Chapter 3 of Stranger Things, The Monster and the Superhero, next Tuesday, and I'll let you know what I thought the following night. Please feel free to join me. I will hopefully see you next Wednesday. Please feel free to hit like, share, subscribe, and ding the notification bell. And please leave me a comment. I'll see you next week. Have a good time. Right, just as the much aforementioned postscript, the Vecna, V-E-C-N-A of the title, is an extremely powerful villain from the Dungeons and Dragons Greyhawk setting. The character is a lich, L-I-C-H, a kind of powerful undead sorcerer. I just don't know if it's pronounced lich or lish. Leave me a comment. I would love to hear what you think.